Hey guys, ATP here, giving you a quick update. First off, I want to say that I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you got to spend it with friends and family and take time to reflect on what all we have had to be thankful for. If you have a hard time thinking of something, just remember, hey, you woke up on the right side of the dirt today, and that's where you start being thankful. So, few updates. I got a lot going on today. I'm fixing to winterize my EDC. If you don't know what I mean by that, we're going to talk about that in another video later on. We're also going to talk about something that I completely left out of my bug out bag that I cannot believe that I did. And then I started watching some videos on YouTube, and hey, I'm not the only one. So we'll talk about a few little things there. Uh, so I'm going to winterize the bag. I've got cast iron skillets in the oven seasoning right now. Just made this awesome soup. I took all the leftover ham that I had from Thanksgiving, diced it up, dropped it in the crock pot, put about 3 cups of beef broth, about a cup of chicken broth, and then I dumped some white beans or northern beans or Yankee beans, whatever you want to call them. I put them in there too. And then I took turnip greens and added in those as well. And that turned out to be a fantastic soup. A wonderful experiment with very pleasurable results. So, anyway, I have a Belgian Malinois, which is a very high drive dog. Now, I know a lot of you have seen, hey, this was the dog involved in ISIS, raid and this, that, and the other. And let me tell you something before you think, oh, I want a dog like that. You better be ready to dedicate at least 16 hours of awake human time between you and your family members. This is a very high drive dog. I do not recommend this to the average family ever. The first year, you will bleed a lot because that little mouth is open all the time. Those teeth are always grazing you, and they love to bite. And you're like, well, we'll get it to quit biting. No, you won't. Anyway, I took her out. This was end of October. Took her outside, had her on the leash, and I was at the top of my porch, which if you fall over the rail, it's about a 7-foot drop. And she saw a cat, her cat. It's her cat because she adores this cat, loves it. Always wants to give it attention, can't wait to go see it. And she caught me unaware. Usually when we go outside, I've got a great pair, and he's out here that won't shut up today. He's a grumpy old feller. But anyway, usually when we have her on a tight leash when we go out, and I tell her easy, and then she goes out. This time she decided not to mind me, and off she went. And so I had the leash in my left hand. She pulls me over the railing, and fortunately my reflexes were quick enough to reach up and grab the rail. Unfortunately, my reflexes were quick enough to reach up and grab the rail, and it caught 243 pounds of full falling force. The pain was extraordinary. I waited about 3 weeks before I went to the doctor, and it was another week before we had an MRI. And the MRI confirmed that yes, my bicep is completely torn. It's completely torn and it's moved up. Long story short, it's just something I'm going to have to learn to live with. Everything that I've seen said you needed to have this surgery as soon as possible. Definitely 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The muscle starts to scar and shrink and can't be put back in its original position. And me and the physician talked about this last week, and I told him, I said, look guys, this just isn't probably an option anymore. You need to be honest about it. I need to be honest about it. I don't have insurance. It's about a $7,000 to $10,000 surgery, I believe. The national average that I looked up. And I don't have insurance, and they want money up front anymore. I had to pay $600 up front for the MRI, which was really cheap. I was thankful for that. So it confirmed the tear. I'm not going to be able to have the surgery. I'm going to have to learn to live with it. I'm going to have to relearn how I do things now. On the weird plus side, and I showed the doctor, and they were kind of amazed by it too, that my body is trying to heal itself. And there is a muscle that's come from somewhere and is building, literally growing in that spot now. So I'm slowly trying to rehab it, trying to encourage that to keep growing and hopefully hopefully I won't, have a partial, you know, lifetime disability on that. It is, I don't know. Anyway, so got that going on. I mean, if I do my laundry, by the third shirt that I hang up, my arm starts to fatigue, and the muscles will start spasms, and the forearm will get real tight and start to spasm because it's trying to compensate as well. But hey, life throws you curveballs. You've got to. We talked about this years ago about taking care of ourselves and this, that, and the other, and what would happen if you actually got hurt in a long-term situation. And it's good to know that your body is going to try to compensate, but you will have to relearn how you do just some normal activities in life. Now, I don't go to the doctor. You're like, 3 weeks? Why'd you wait 3 weeks? Because I wanted to see if it was okay. They pointed out I hadn't had blood work in 11 years. And I was like, well, doc, I don't come see you when I get a cold. I can get rid of a cold generally in about a day and a half. 2 days tops, no more cold. I get the flu, once every decade. I just don't get sick. I haven't been feeling good for a while, that's for sure. Tired all the time, wanting to sleep. But I thought that was the depression that I was fighting. And so they did the blood work, another $122. That was awesome. And so a week later, they called me back for my results, and they let me know that most of the blood work was fine. And then the doctor was like, "Oh my God, are you diabetic?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't think so. Why?" And she informed me that my fasting blood sugar was 350. Well, that's not a good number. You need to be between 70 and 100. And about a week later, they officially gave me my type 2 diabetes diagnosis. So, I don't have to take insulin or anything like that. They really think, metformin and things like that will help me get through it. I told the doctor right out of the gate, and I said, no, I'm not having it. I'm just not. And they was like, what do you mean? I was like, this time next year, I'm not going to have this diagnosis. You wait and see. I was given that diagnosis around November 11th. This is December 6th. I'm not sure. I think it is. Anyway, I dropped sugar immediately. They wanted me to go on a 75 carbohydrate diet a day, which I did, no problem. Man, you can eat a lot of breakfast, eggs, bacon, things like that, lean ham, and get no carbs coming from that bad boy. So that part was easy. The hardest part for me was the sugar. Now, I've lost 12 pounds during that time just by dropping the sugar and watching the carbs. And there's been no exercise involved yet. There's going to be. We can do a whole lot of walking and things like that to help drive my metabolism even higher. One quick thing that I noticed was within 3 days, now it's funny because I was ill all the time. You would have thought I was trying to quit smoking. I was drinking a gallon of sweet tea a day that I made, and each of my gallon of sweet tea has a cup and a half of sugar in it. And then I'd get to work, and I would probably drink around a 6-pack of Pepsi or Coke or Dr. Pepper or something like that, something assorted. So I calculated I was taking in 2 3/4 cups of sugar a day, just from drinks, not counting anything from food. I don't eat sweets, so that wasn't ever an issue. Let me be clear. I brought this on myself. I take full responsibility for being an idiot and allowing that to happen. So, dramatic lifestyle change are in order, and I'm not going to have this diagnosis. I'm not having it. It's almost been a month, and my blood sugar, on average now, went from 350 to the 130s, 140. A couple of days ago, my afternoon blood sugar was 98. So, lifestyle change does work in that type of diagnosis. Now, I understand type 1, a whole other ballpark. I'm not even trying. I don't even want to imagine what you guys have to go through. We're not in the same ballpark. It's just, I can reverse this. Being type 2. So, in a way, I guess I'm thankful that I tore my arm. Without that happening, I would have never known about the diagnosis. So, hey guys, I mean, we could prep our bags and we could prep our pantries and we can do this, that, and prepare for every imaginable scenario on the planet, whether it be legit or fantastic. But we've got to take care of ourselves, body, mind, soul. Um, I encourage everybody, at least go for some kind of walk a day, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you can do. Uh, I know that's what I'm going to do. So things are going to change for me. And I'm loving the energy that came back within 3 days, man. I mean, the other night I went to bed exhausted because I paced and walked around this house all day looking for stuff to do because I had all this energy that I didn't have before. And I really hate that I missed all the hints. Being lethargic all the time, having to pee like a racehorse all the time, and I stayed really thirsty. And so I've made those changes. I cut off my eating time by 6:30, 7 p.m. The reason I go that late is because, well, I'm usually up to about 1 or 2. So that's some of the things I've done. And anyway, thought I'd give you an update on what's going on and life's little trials and curveballs and how we're going to tackle that. And I'm going to keep you guys posted on that. We're going to do a video on winterizing the EDC and some other things. But I really appreciate you guys. You guys have been here for me, and I appreciate that. But I tell you what, another thing, man, I noticed this, that depression I've been carrying around for the last 2-3 years. It's lifted. I don't know. I'm looking at better days. And I hope you all do too. But anyway, at this point, I'm probably going to start rambling. I'm going to get off here and read about the new Springfield Armory Hellcat. I don't own a 9mm. I do have a Springfield XDS in 45 caliber. But I do need to get a 9mm, obviously, because why? It's the most readily available ammo on the planet, apparently.